That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
What
the hell was that? Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, welcome back, fam. We are back for another episode of the Weekly Roundup. I'm your host, as always, Steve Rochelle, being joined by my favorite degenerate, as always, the fucking man of the rant himself, Mr. Zach Burr. I know he hates it when I call him a degenerate.
No, it's funny because you tell me to smile at the beginning of the show, and for whatever reason, like, you know, I mean, look, see right there, like, that's like, I could just smile, and now I'm good looking. But I can't do that when you tell me to smile. I've got to be as obnoxious as possible about it, right, Steven? So I don't know what happened with the hair and everything. I've been umpiring all day, but yeah, that was a freaky look at the beginning, wasn't it?
Oh,
man. That was like Jack Nicholson from The Shining, dude. That's what you remember that movie.
Absolutely, absolutely. But we got a fun one lined up for you tonight, fam. We're gonna talk that disgusting Phillies freaking Cardinals display that we just seen. We're gonna talk some MMA as UFC Fight Night is live on ESPN right now. Make sure you guys are tuning in for that. We're gonna be joined by journalist reporter Heidi Fang. You know, she covers MMA. She covers NFL, particularly in the Raiders out there in Vegas. So we're gonna have fun with that. Talk a little Sixers as well before we wrap everything up. With that being said, if you guys are looking to buy or sell a home and you're looking to change career or brokerage, contact Alan Foy of X-Bay Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit him at Alan Foy at expertrealty.com. And
you having some trouble there, Steven?
And with I always have trouble with the. Come on, man. I hate doing the reads, but I love them at the same time. With that being said, our poll question for tonight with UFC Fight Night going on tonight: will Robert Whitaker win his third consecutive fight tonight and defeat Kelvin Gastelum? Agree, disagree? Sound off here in the chat. Let's hear what the fans got to say. And we already we got Daly up in here. Daly's ready for everything. Everyone's off tonight. Everyone's off tonight.
Steven can't read a stupid, simple read. I don't even want to call it stupid. You know what? It's not stupid. It's not stupid, Steven. You got me going. You want to rant? You want to rant, Steven? I'm going to rant about you today. How about that? Okay. Good Lord. I got Alan listening. What's up, AJ? If you're listening, I apologize.
Oh, Mr. Daly's going with Kelvin Gastelum tonight. Going to stop the winning streak and start his own. Believe that should put him at like 2.
I don't even know how to answer the poll question. I'll start with that.
Oh man,
the one dude undefeated? Is that what the deal is?
No, he's on a winning streak, a recent winning streak, not undefeated.
Who cares?
I'm gonna smack you next time we go down there. Do I promise?
I don't even know what to say about the poll question.
All streaks
have to come. That is true, Brian. See, yeah. Mr. Daly, I thought at one point the only streak that was never going to come to the end was the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak, and even that came to an end. I mean, it's like amazing. Next email. If the Undertaker streak at WrestleMania can come to an end, you're right. Any streak.
Goldberg's one was. I mean, it had to come to an end. You knew it had to come to an end, but that was got to be pretty impressive, though.
We need to join the wrestling boys at some point. Apparently,
Jason agrees that Robert will continue his winning ways tonight, onwards, backwards to that middleweight title contention. I believe. We'll see. We'll find out later on tonight. But Phil's lose again. Fallen to 7-7. There's a whole different conversation what we had this time last week, correct? This is not what we wanted over the last 7 days here.
Yes, and for the record, Steven, just so I can give an official answer to the poll, I'll take Whitaker just because I'm a longtime fan of Sweet Pea Whitaker. So
I'm with you. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Outside of that, I'm just going to take Whitaker.
So far we got Daly for Gasolin. We got Mr. Fagan in the house with Whitaker. Me and you with the Whitaker. It looks like we got Mr. Freer going in there with the Whitaker with the backside of it because he wants to know what your thoughts on the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight. No, let me ask you this. All right, tonight's main event for the UFC fight is Whitaker. He's getting a little bit over, like I think it's like just under 240K, you know, for show money tonight, I believe. Right? Okay. Or no, and either way, you look at Jake Paul's purse. It's 290K. Or no, 690K. I stand corrected. That's that. I mean, no matter live, what's up, Pete? I mean, it doesn't matter. Jake, it really doesn't matter who wins that fight because Jake Paul already won that fight in the bank account. We all know,
isn't that why this dude is the dude that's the YouTube guy, right? That's like trying to cross over because he knocked out Nate Robinson on the undercard of the Mike Tyson Roy Jones fight.
And we got another team Whitaker here. There we go. So it's giving him a little bit of a landslide so right now. We'll see.
Whitaker.
We'll check back in on that one. Daly wants to weigh in some Phillies. Let's see what he has to say here. Phillies need to find some consistency, not just
more than even need. I mean, listen, and I said this. Me and Stephen, we've been talking about this before the show. This idea that Spencer Howard wasn't going to start the year in the rotation is crazy to me. And I understand. Oh, well, he didn't look last year when he came up, and how'd he look? And I know. I've heard all the nonsense that everybody else has heard about it. He's a young kid. He's 24. You throw him out there. You see what you got. You're going to go with the growing pains of a young pitcher, and that is what it is. But there's no reason this dude should be wasting time in my bullpen when dudes like Matt Moore and Chase Anderson are in my starting rotation. Why can't Matt Moore and Chase Anderson pitch out of the fucking bullpen? Like, I don't understand that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm hoping it's going to change soon. It didn't make any sense to me coming out of spring. I don't care how good of a spring Moore and Anderson had. The idea to me that Spencer Howard wasn't a part of that rotation was never going to make any sense. And Stephen, how many times did we have that conversation where I said
going into the season? That was the one. That was the one thing you were figuratively pulling your hair out over. Just the fact that this was even on the table, like where you liked them is in that shadow role as that flex guy out of the bullpen.
Or Chase Anderson pitch every 5 days. I don't care how good of a spring they had. I don't want to watch them. I didn't want to watch Matt Moore pitch when he was good and he was playing for Tampa, and I actually lived in Florida and could watch him. I didn't want to watch him then. I don't want to watch him now when he's a scrub. Like, it just this idea to me, what gets me excited? I want to go see a young kid in Spencer Howard, and I want to go see what he's got. I want to see him go out there every fifth day, and I want to see him grow from start to start. Right? I want to see him get hit around one start and bounce back the next start and have a good solid outing. Go 6-7 innings, strike out a lot of batters. Don't walk a lot, and be one of those shutdown and bounce back performances. Like, yeah, that's great to see a young pitcher do that. That's what I want to see week to week, right? Let him go through the growing pains and watch him grow as a young starting pitcher. I don't expect him to be an ace. I don't need him to be an ace. But there's no reason why he shouldn't be in my rotation.
It's one of these things, man. It's one of these things that the Phillies have always done. We're just holding these guys the fact that we talked about it so many times over the years that we lost some early years with some of the guys from the 2000 teams because they were just left in the farm system too long where they probably should have gotten their chance to kind of go through the growing pains in the major leagues and become major league ball players, etc. And it looks like this regime is kind of still following suit to either holding on to them, not developing them, or just keeping them down there for too long. I just don't get why we continually have these issues with this ball club.
I mean, I'll compare it like this, right? We had young arms coming up, early in the 2000s, like you said, with Ed Wade there. Brett Myers, came up and ended up being a pretty solid pitcher for us, right? Was a solid, he was made. He had to be our ace for a couple of years when he just isn't an ace, but that's not his fault that they put him in that position. He was a solid guy in your rotation that could be a 2 or 3, and be very solid for you. Now, Gavin Floyd was a young one that came up and just completely bombed, and we had high expectations for, and it just never worked out, and he ended up getting shipped off to Chicago, I believe, in the Freddie Garcia deal, which somehow Chicago won, which is insanity. Imagine that. Imagine trading Gavin Floyd to the White Sox in that Freddie Garcia deal, and somehow in the end of all that, Chicago won the deal.
I'm with you, Daly. Like you can't. We can't be nibbling at anything. I don't care who we're playing.
Matt Moore can't attack. Matt Moore can't attack a strike zone because if he throws pitches over the heart of the plate, he's going to get fucking smoked. So attack the strike zone. I mean, he's got to be a guy that's got to paint corners and finesse guys and try to actually pitch instead of just being a guy. It's can't just sit here and I'm going to attack the strike zone.
Another one. We got another one to agree to Paul Whitaker's running away with it. He's running away with it, and I agree with Tom.
Aaron Nola.
I agree that
the strike zone.
This is something I talked about with Zach on here. I felt like they were just the same team that you'd hope that Joe Girardi would kind of be able to tinker and play with this team. Like Brian was just saying, we're only 14 games in. Yes, they are still the same team. I think the craziest thing I've seen, some fans say, people on social, is that the Gabe Kapler thing. Why are we even mentioning Gabe Kapler?
This is the same thing as the people that are going to bring up Carson Wentz in 2 years or 3 years when he's lighting it up in Indy or doing it. I mean, we're going to bring it up. There's those people in that in those corners of the fan base, right? Like that have whatever reason that they want to. We had Gabe Kapler stands here for whatever stupid reason. We got people that still bring up Foles. We got people that still bring up anybody that's played in this city or anybody that was in this city, and somehow you had stands for them, no matter how good or bad they were. So I think people will talk about Kapler just because it strikes a chord with Phillies fans and gets people fired up and wants to start an argument. That's all people do that. Yeah. It's a stupid thing. You know when you say something like that? You say something like that because a bunch of people are going to come yelling at you, telling you how much of a fucking idiot you are and how stupid you sound, and that's why you post it. And that's what you're trying to get at. I mean, you're trying to get at.
I mean, you're always going to have a problem when you're only going to get barely 3 innings out of your starter. It's going to be a rough day. They got to bounce back to tomorrow afternoon, and
it's got to be effective down in the zone. If you're working at the knees, that's I don't consider that attacking the zone. Like I consider that like you're working the knees, working the corners. That's you're.
Now, I think we all unanimously agreed that the one bright spot we could say over the past week is we continually said that we need to see a lot out of Rhys so far this year. 14 games in, has he gotten off to the start that you've expected and that we needed from him?
Rhys Hoskins?
Yeah.
I think there's there's a lot of uneducated baseball fans in the city, just like there's uneducated fans in all of our fan bases, right? But the uneducated fans that watched Rhys Hoskins struggle for a year and a half or whatever, and then just think that it's over for the kid, right? And listen, I was one of those people that said it. I gave up on him at one point, right? But I gave up on him. And now he's actually fought his way back from what seemed like the dead. Right? I mean, we literally. I don't think it was unfair to say most of us thought that the dude's career in this city was over. Maybe even the dude's career, in baseball was about to be it's really going downhill fast. And he's worked his way back, completely revamped his swing, and the dude's actually become a very solid, major league hitter. And he gets on base a ton, which is something that that's really what you're looking at. How often are you on base, right? And it's not like the dude's hitting $190. You know what I mean? I can put up with the dude hitting 250. If he's getting on base at a close to 40% clip, and he does. So, do I need him to hit 40 home runs? I think that's the thing that people are getting caught up on, right? He came up and hit all those home runs. He's not that guy anymore. I don't need him to be that guy if he's not going to Right now, he's not hitting 250. Right now, he looks like a guy that can hit 280 to 290, and hit you 20 bombs and drive in some runs and do a lot of.
That's all you really need of him when you have a Bryce Harper, when you have a JT Realmuto, you don't need him to.
If he can. If we told Phillies fans right now that Rhys Hoskins this year will hit 285, hit 25 homers, driving close to 100 runs, and he's going to get, he's going to have an on-base percentage of over 400, you're going to be like, oh my God, like I'll take that year, right? Like it's like that. I don't think that's that far off. I don't think that's that crazy right now. Like I think that's kind of where he's trending towards, being more that guy, a 20 to 25 home run guy that's, going to hit, around 280 and get on base a ton. And that's, what he is in this lineup. That's a very productive player between Bryce, between Realmuto, as you said, or if he's sitting in the 2-hole, whoever, What we really need is a true leadoff guy, which is not something that we have, right? Like that's, we want McCutchen to be that guy, but how many 34-year-old leadoff guys, how many 35-year-old leadoff men in base, like it's just one of those things where like McCutchen's a gamer, Kutch's a gamer, and I love McCutchen in this lineup, but I just, he's having to hit leadoff because we don't have anybody that can hit leadoff, right? Like I'd much rather him hit 7th or 8th in my lineup. I don't need him hitting leadoff, but that's what he's got to do right now.
Yeah. Hey man, listen, I'm with you. I love me some Kutch, but I think we all agree that we're starting to see that his best days are behind him. We're trying to squeeze the last little bit of lemon out of that juice right now.
Do you want a bold prediction?
Gotcha,
I'm already on the record for the win, so I'm not talking about that. Right? We're not going to beat a dead horse there. But how about we talk about all the issues? I'll stop talking about the home plate umpire, Tyler. Okay, Jesus Christ.
Were you thinking offensive? The umpire's taking offense.
No, I get it. Listen, the home plate umpire, they're not going to hit the damn ball. It's just a home plate umpire. The home plate umpire was home plate umpire the reason Yadier Molina hit 2 home runs today? No. I don't think the home plate umpire is the reason why Matt Moore got only pitched 2 2/3, and that's the idea that we're blaming the umpire for shit. No.
I mean, if anything, Phillies fans, let's see what Girardi and the pitching staff can do to try to help this pitching staff, because I'm not really. I mean, honestly, are you really worried? None of us are worried about this offense long term, correct?
No, I'm not worried about the offense.
All right, so let's stop nitpicking over things. Let the coaching staffs do what they're doing.
And I've already said. And we already talked about how much we would love Dombrowski to pull the trigger on the best starting pitcher on the market come deadline time. Maybe now we need to think about doing that a little bit before deadline time, but still that would be an idea. One of the things I keep hearing those people, we need a center fielder. We need a center fielder. Okay, well, the bold prediction. You want a bold prediction?
Can we give him like at least like 25, 30 games?
Play his way into that role.
Or not even games. Can we give him like 200 bats and let's see what's up?
Sure. Well, that's I think people are done with Roman Quinn, and I'm with them. I'm done with Roman Quinn too.
I think it's not like people haven't tried to like Roman Quinn, but I just think a lot of fans are with you on that train that it's just it was kind of like the Dominic Brown thing. You were waiting for this guy to kind of be somebody. You're waiting this guy to be somebody, and it's never happened.
Give me one thing that Roman Quinn can do at a big league level.
Run the bases.
He can't even do that. People always fast, but he can't run the base. He's dumb on the bases, so he can't even do that. Yeah, you're fast. What good is being fast if you suck at tracking fly balls and you're a stupid base runner? What good's your speed? You have zero.
And did we see some more poor fielding from Quinn tonight? I believe so.
And he can't hit worth a lick. So that's when you can't hit worth a lick. You don't get on base at all.
Then on the other side of it, you better have like Tony Gwynn type freaking plate IQ or something.
Or he better be a guy that every time he gets on base, he's such a threat to steal and disrupt the game when he's on the bases that it makes him worth being on. The fact that he's starting in center field is absolutely ludicrous. I don't even think the guy belongs on a big league roster. Yet he's starting in center field, or he was starting in center field. Again, another guy. Who did I pound the table for, Steven, in spring training? Who did I pound the table for and say, this guy needs to be on my big league roster? He needs to be my big league, my opening day center fielder, and that was Mickey Moniak. And your bold prediction will be that Mickey Moniak's going to play at an all-star level as the year goes on. You're going to see a guy that's really going to develop into a guy.
Now, here's the thing: what do you do? What do you do with Roman Quinn? Do you swallow some promotional pride and call up Abdul?
I don't need Abdul. I mean, again, like to your point where you said, just give Moniak a chance, let him run, and he needs some at bats. Fuck it, go for it. Right? The kid was selected number 1 overall for a reason 6 years ago now. I mean, at this point, you see what you got. Again, it is what it is. He can't be any worse than Roman Quinn was. And
I totally agree with that. That
isn't going to be around for the foreseeable future. So,
like I said, man, like give him 200 bats, 30 games. Like, let's give him a clean look.
Everyday center field from now until the All-Star break. At the All-Star break, if he's hitting like 220 and he's struggling, okay, then we can be, I don't know, maybe this isn't working. But I really don't think that's going to be. I think this kid's going we're going to really be okay, wow, you know what? Like the kid might never be a superstar, but like we're going to be very, very happy with the production that we get out of Mickey Moniak in center field, and we're going to watch him grow into a very solid big league player as the year goes on. I honestly believe that, and a lot of people are going to say that's a bold prediction. They say, oh, well, is it that bold? I don't know. Well, if the guy's hitting close to 300 at the end of the year, don't be surprised. That's all I'm saying.
I like it. I hope you're right. I hope you get to the All-Star break. It sounds good to me, man. Like, let's run the tires on and see what we got.
Imagine if he could develop into that the leadoff guy that you needed in the line. Like, all right, fuck it. Like, he's got to hop back right now, throw him up in the leadoff spot. Let's see what he can do. And all of a sudden, he becomes a guy that's like a game changer up there for you. It's the missing piece that you need in the lineup to kind of jump.
You can only pray that you could save yourself some money and resources, and just let him do. That's a good listen, and that's kind of why I was Tyler. Why I was saying maybe call up Abdul or something like that. You already have Moniak up here. Call up Abdul for the time being. Until you see Hazley
going to come up and get instant attention and steal at bats. They're both lefties, so I don't really know if it's not like I can, one's going to play against righties and one, you know what I mean? We don't really have a platoon situation there. And I just really want nothing to do with it.
Cromer's in the house, and there's listen, I told you, Witt's running away with this thing.
But I see what you're saying. You can't just have one center fielder on the roster. You need another guy that can play center field. You don't want Kutch playing center field. You don't want Harper playing center field, even though they both probably could. You don't want them to. So
I don't want them there, and also it's just one of those things. Like if we can keep Kutch out of playing center field for as long as we possibly if he has to play there out of necessity is one thing, but when you have guys on your roster that can play it, but I hear what you're saying.
I don't even know if I want to play that out of necessity, Steve. I'm actually I almost want him strictly playing left field, and I want Bryce strictly playing right. I don't know.
Hershey Squirts is back.
If Odubel's up, here's my thing with them calling up Odubel. As much as I would just like to say Moniak's the everyday center fielder, I feel like that's just – it's almost going to be Moniak's the everyday center fielder, but the reason we called Odubel up is the first chance we get, we're looking to make that switch to get him back in the lineup. And I don't no, fuck that. What is Odubel what has he done to deserve or earn? You know what I mean? The dude was – annoying to watch before he was beating the shit out of his girlfriend, and now I've got to punch myself in the face when I watch him play and be pissed as fuck that he beats his girl. Speaking of dudes that give you headaches, Roman Quinn gives me headaches. Odubel Herrera gives me the same headaches. He just at least makes, some plays that make up for it, right? He'll do some shit that makes up for all that shit.
At this point, you just gotta hope your pitching staff, tightens up, and you get some good innings out of your relievers, and Win more than you lose at this point in time. We're getting ready to get into the stretch run of this thing of everything opening up here. So let's see what this team's made up. Let's see if they can prove us wrong that they're not the same old team.
Yeah, I think that's an unfair comment. I'm actually surprised Tommy said that. I'm actually really surprised Tommy said that because I think that's a little bit of an unfair comment this early in the year. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously. You got off to a really nice start, sweeping the Braves. There was some mojo. It seemed like the team had some mojo. And like, this team feels a little different. But I still think they feel a little different. Like, you know what this team, like, we could say whatever about today. Bryce came out, called out, and he started with himself, and then he just stated bluntly what needs to be done and what needs to change offensively. What we need to do better. And the very next game. The offense responds. We put up 9 runs, right, in the first game of the Cardinals series and win it, right? And it's one of those games we win 9-2, and it's like, wow, like it looks like whatever Bryce said, the team responded to it. That's leadership there, and I feel like this team has that leadership that playoff teams and championship teams have. I know we've got Girardi, who's obviously got the championship.
Like I said, I agree with you. The fact that it may not be fair to say the same team.
Same old team.
I agree with that assessment, but they still have to go and show us that pitching staff wise, they're not the same old team.
You know what I'll know with the same old team is when we don't pull the trigger on some type of deadline move to bring in a stud. Because like Matt Klentak did that for how many years? Like when we didn't do anything significant at the deadline, as far as acquiring anybody went under Klentak, they're just like constant, like non-move after non-move. It was like just that was the cycle. If Dombrowski makes a move at the deadline and Spencer Howard becomes the centerpiece of a deal to bring in the best starting pitcher on the trade market, all of a sudden you kind of you kind of getting some lead in your pencil, right? Hey, I'm a little bit excited. This feels a lot different than the past years, right? Like, hey, it's a much different team. We got leadership that's going to do something when they got a chance. So I don't know. Like, I'm not willing to go there with the same old team thing until, for me, like. Klentak was, like you looked at old management, the management before Dombrowski got here, and our biggest complaint was about how they wouldn't go out, pull the trigger on trades with prospects or whatever they needed to do in order to get this, some type of star pitcher. And we all of last year we clamored for Klentak to go out and do something at the deadline to bring in some type of star bullpen arm. We didn't get nothing, absolutely nothing. Right? It just seemed like it was silent on that front as far as like.
Is that your firm belief? You don't want them to do anything offensively. You want an arm.
Yeah, I think we need an arm, and not just like another bullpen arm would be nice. But I want to go out. I'm star hunting, like I'm star searching, right? Like it's fucking. Who's the dude that hosted Star Search back in the day when you were a kid, Steven? God damn, if I would have had his name, that would have been such a perfect. God, that would have been awesome.
Ed McMahon, wasn't it?
Ed McMahon, there we go. Yes, awesome. I knew you would know it. You're old. See,
y'all keep reminding me of this.
That's all. I'm star searching at the deadline. Like I don't need to just go out there. He's a nice arm, nice out. No, I don't need. I need like we're going out to get a big time on. I need to go out and be like Spencer Howard and Adam Hazley, and we can figure out a couple other pieces in this whole thing. Roman Quinn can. I'll drive home from Florida just to drive him to the airport if I have to. Seriously, I will. Just to do it. Like that's how excited I'll be. What do you got? And Spencer Howard's the centerpiece of a deal that probably includes Adam Hazley and a couple other lower level minor league prospects of some kind. They could try to go out and get one of the biggest, or if not the biggest, starting pitcher on the market. And every year you've got a big starting pitcher on the market. Every year it's somebody. Who's it going to be this year? Go make it happen. Because I think everything else is there, and you're just kind of like why? Like you had to point Bryce Harper. Right, he's 28.
Well, no,
right?
and I already know. Like me and you talked about this. You're fine with the lineup. You would actually prefer them to get a bat out of the farm system, not off of another team. And you're good with the back end of the bullpen, but it's the long relief you're looking for, and another stud.
If you go out and get a stud starter, all of a sudden now your long relief looks a lot better too, because you got guys like Matt Moore and Chase Anderson like pitching in that long relief role permanently, right? As opposed to one of them, both of them having to be in your rotation. So yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like addition by it's like a 2-for-1 thing, addition by subtraction, whatever you want to call it, right? Like, oh, we need a long relief guy. Oh, well, we've got one of them too now, because all of a sudden trading for the star pitcher has allowed us to move, somebody into that role.
I mean, it's the one thing I think that they do need. I'm in agreement with that. I just doubt that we'll see the big name arm.
Here's my thing with that, and
I think they'll get somewhere in between. My opinion.
I mean, okay. That's we'll have to debate that at that moment as far as if it's a big enough name. And I'm not saying I'm not saying there's not lesser names I wouldn't be happy with, but it's all going to depend, right? Like I don't need we went and traded for another Joe Blanton. I don't need you to trade for Joe Blanton right now. That's not what I'm looking for. Like I need impact. I need somebody that's going to come in here with some impact. But if I doubt they're going to do that move, the one thing I'll say to kind of like plays devil's advocate with you there is what the hell was the point of bringing in Dombrowski if we weren't going to all of a sudden, pull the trigger on a move like that? Like, why is he here? Like, we could have just hired anybody then. Like, isn't the point of Dombrowski being here to pull the trigger when an opportunity like that is there to do it and say, okay?
The question is, will they actually go and do it and make that happen, get it done?
That's the $1 million question. Sure. Maybe the $1 billion question, Steve. If we win the championship, it could be the $1 billion question.
Absolutely. We'll see how that goes. I say it's somewhere in between, but
I'm cool with it being somewhere in between if Spencer Howard's not the guy that's the centerpiece anymore.
Matt saying truth, Zachary.
Oh, Tom agrees. Jeez. Woo! Yeah, that's always good. I wasn't in the mood to argue with Tommy, so good. I'm just glad he's like.
I mean, he was the night, man. He was the night, but Tyler, like we were just saying,
I didn't need him.
But
I did something to piss Tom off. Next thing you know, he'd be jumping in here, the third person. It'd be ugly. It would be.
But like you said, if you get the starting pitcher, then Moore's your long reliever, and he's not really in a position to be so horrible. And
guys like Matt Moore were made to be long relievers. That's that guy. Like that's what he like. Why the hell is he in a starting rotation? Like, dude, that's the hell. Like this is he should be a guy that's giving you 3 innings out of your bullpen. Like that's what I don't need him like. I don't even understand this concept of him in my rotation.
See, it's not just me today. It's not just me today. See, roll off.
The only reason I wouldn't say send him back to Japan is because, again, like Steven said, all right, it couldn't hurt to you need as many bullpen arms as possible, right? Like I'm never opposed to having as many bullpen options as possible. But this idea is him being in my starting rotation. It's over. Like it was. I mean, for me, it was over before it ever got started. And Steven will attest to that. He should have never been in my rotation. That was Spencer Howard's spot the entire time, and somehow this seemed like a good idea. It's over though. Hopefully after today, it's
the experiment will be over.
How can they throw him back out there after today, Steven? 2 2/3. What was
they will? They
6
will. Come on, man. They're going to try him back out there.
No, it's over.
They're going to try
2 2/3, 6 it's over.
They're gonna try them back out there. UFC update. Austin Hubbard wins a unanimous decision. Former LFA lightweight champion improves his record to 13-5. was a pure wrestling victory with that one. Pure wrestling. Take down, control the position, pound, improve the position. Some more punches in your face. One of them days, man. One of them days. You're not gonna do it. So
I'm watching this guy talk.
You're
You're
watching.
Imagine that I'm actually watching somebody else talk for once.
But real quick, let's get this next readout here. And the next half hour is brought to you by Body Check Wellness, and they're using a full potential of hemp to promote wellness, balance, and recovery. Right now, they're running their biggest special, 420. 420 is about to be upon us. All us hemp. All us THC users, we all know what's coming. They're running a sale, 42% off with that promo code 420. So again, whether it's gummies, extract, topical blends, everything, Body Check's got you covered. And also, again, letting you guys know, still running that giveaway. Got some things lined up for you guys. Just screenshot your order, regardless if it's the 420 promo code or our A2D code. Let us know you placed the order. Make sure you're subscribed to here on A2D Radio. Make sure you're subscribed on the Nasty Knuckles podcast as well. And we'll hook you guys up at the end of the month. It's all up to you. How many people entered is all determined on how many people we're gonna hook up. So let's see what everyone is gonna do, and hopefully we can give more than a handful of stuff away. Listen, I hope.
Wait, so this Robert Whitaker guy's won 2 fights in a row, and he's going for his 3rd win in a row tonight. And we're counting. So hold on. So 2 fights in a row counts as a winning streak?
Oh, the 3rd would be considered the streak, wouldn't it?
I think the 3rd, yeah, and not when the 3rd gets considered a streak.
Yeah, so
2 is just back-to-back wins. 3rd is now a winning streak.
Oh. You have a problem with that?
Daly was over here talking about ending streaks as if the dude had won like 15 fights in a row or something.
Well, I mean, he is a former champion, bro, so gotta get you educated, bro. Is that English? Like, I know I'm off today, but what?
O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan. Are you Irish? O'Sullivan.
It has to be. Oh, I mean, I would hope so. Would hope so.
So yeah, maybe.
And speaking of Irish, I got to get your thoughts on it. I know you've heard the Conor McGregor news, what he was doing this last week with Dustin Poirier. He still hasn't given his charity the promised donation from their wager from the last fight.
What happened with all that? So who didn't give what money? I saw.
All right. So let me break this down for you. Right? so before their last matchup, which was the rematch, Conor beating him the first time, stopped him. And this was the rematch. He had the time off after the Khabib loss, et cetera, and there was an agreement made, gentleman's agreement. They're like, hey, loser donates to the other's charity,
right?
And obviously, we go through it. Yes. I'm gonna keep going on this one though, Mr. O'Sullivan. We're gonna keep going on this one. So the fight happens. They did the initial reach out to him afterwards, but from the tweets now, this could be either promo stuff to hype up the fight or whatever. But they had made some stuff said, hey, they hadn't received any funds. Conor goes back and forth with him on social media, goes to the effect that, didn't get the dotted I's and crossed T's of where all the funds were exactly going. He's not no sucker, blah, blah, blah. Then the fight's off. Then 2 days later, the UFC announced that the fight is officially on. Now, regardless if it's to hype up fight or whatever, bad optics, or as Connor says, "Fook them kids."
A bit. It's after Connor just being like, like, yeah, I do what I want, sort of thing, right? Like, I'm Conor McGregor and I do what I want. I can't even do a Conor McGregor accent. But yeah, exactly. McGregor's a guy in his own mind. McGregor's a god. Like, that's how he looks at himself. Conor McGregor thinks of himself as like his god of sorts. So, I'm gonna do what I want, and he loves. We all know he loves wearing the black hat, right, so to speak. The guy that he loves being the guy that people hate. He loves that role. And how else do you come back? Think about it. If you think about it like this, and tell me it doesn't make sense if you're somebody like McGregor. How else do you come back from an embarrassing defeat like he had? Like, how do you get it's all of a sudden people are kind of like, oh, like McGregor, like, yeah, we don't have this dude, like, he just got his ass kicked. Like, there's not the same heat there that was there before. How do you get that heat back? How about you don't donate money to the dude's fucking charity, especially a kid's charity? Like, people are going to hate that. All that heat is going to immediately come back the minute these people find out. Oh, fuck them kids! I'm not paying them any money. You can't tell me it's not a completely planned and genius strategy on the part of Conor McGregor, but that's what he is. That's why he's fucking got $100 million, right? Because this is what he does. He knows how to make money. That third fight's going to make more money than the first two combined.
Yeah, you might not be wrong there, O'Sullivan. You might not be wrong there. It might be. It just might be. It just might be, my friend. But we're getting ready to move on to the next preliminary fight. But actually, I think we might be talking with Heidi when this fight comes on. Jessica Penne is getting back in there, Invicta veteran against Lupita Gordez, and this is another one, undefeated, 5-0. There's your streak, right? 5-0. There you go. There you go, Zachary. Undefeated streak. There you go. You got your undefeated fighter. I'll always be Team Panay, but listen. I know better to underestimate any of these young undefeated fighters from overseas, man. There's I think there's like an 11-year age difference between her and Jessica Penne. So, but Jessica's always the longer fighter, even at that weight class. So she's gonna have the reach, but that's gonna be a fun one. But the one that's going on right now is Bartoszky Fabianowski and our good old Gerald Meerschaert is about to go in there. So Bruce.
So where's the dude Bartoszky from?
I don't know. I'm not sure. They'll should tell us in a second. I know Meerschaert's American. I'm pretty sure he is a Rufus Sport guy, if I remember correctly.
He kind of looks like Daniel Bryan. Look, don't tell me he doesn't. It so does. You know he does. That's why you can't even.
He actually reminds me of Evan Tanner.
From Poland.
Yeah.
Oh, he's about to beat the shit out of this dude. Babinski.
So you like Babinski? Yeah.
He's about to. I don't care who this dude from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's where he's fighting out of. I don't care what camp you said he fights for. I'll put money on this dude from Poland, from Warsaw, Poland. This dude just look. Holy shit, look at that, look. He looks like he was born to kill people. He's like, oh, you come in cage with me and I kill you. Like that. He looks like he was born and groomed for this, Steven. Get him, Babinski. I'm going to be super mad now if he loses and makes me look like a bitch.
Oh, nice shot. They both just traded right there in the pocket, too.
Get him, Babinski. Yeah, knee to the ribs. That was aggressive, Steven. Why'd you do that?
That was all you, brother.
We're keeping it professional here, obviously, you know.
I'm sure you are, brother.
I think that went out the window with the hairs and the beard. We're like, fuck it. Like professionalism, that's not a thing here on the weekly roundup.
I mean, it is, but at times it isn't. He's looking like he's doing a whole lot more tie clinching. Now they're up against the fence, and this is where Meerschaum's gonna play to his game, get him down, and
so what's Meerschaum known for?
He's a grinder, man. He's a gritty dude he's exactly who you think he is, bro. He's a big, strong, powerful dude from Milwaukee. He likes to bang
on the streets and shit like that.
I don't know about growing up on the streets,
well, like, you know what I mean, like having to fight and like, you know, just growing up like in tough neighborhoods, having to fight and shit like that when you're young. I mean,
most of these dudes just get into it because they get into martial arts when they're young, and they're like, "Oh, wait, this became a thing, and we could fight and get paid for this."
I feel like some of them are coming from areas where it's like, "Oh, look, see this dude, damn." Yo, who's got who?
In the guillotine. He's got him in the guillotine and full mount. In full mount, that's deep. He's still fighting it. That's deep.
No, he choked him out.
Out. It's out. Well, they're going your bet on that one. I told you.
See, that's why I don't bet on sports at all. But good lord, I'm over here just like, see, this is why like I was like this Fibinski.
It don't matter what you look like, man. It don't matter what you look like. Let's see. I know. He got sloppy on a takedown and he jumped right on it. And then, you know, swept him, got him in mount, and it's death from there. I mean, he fights a little bit. Then once he gets it over to here and he starts like, he didn't even get a chance. Like he was about to tap out and he's out, went to sleep. The blood stopped circulating and it was over. And Herb Dean had to say, Mr. Meerschaum, please stop. This one's over.
Damn, the Cubs finally exploded offensively today.
Oh wow, look at that. 13-4.
Yeah, see, as I entered the game with an MLB worst 2.6 runs per game. Got 13 on somebody. That'll help that a little bit, right?
Yeah, man. Ew, Bryce is in the house. What's up, brother? What's going on, man? Yeah, you should definitely not bet anymore, brother. That was a bad one.
That Fibinski dude, he looked like somebody that like the Russian mafia would hire to go like off somebody, and instead he's getting choked out. It don't matter what you look like.
It don't matter what you look like. You can be scary looking as hell. You fight like a kitten. That's on you, man.
I was about to say he's not getting hired by the Russian mafia anytime soon.
I mean, you get sloppy with your takedowns up against the cage. Got well-rounded guys catch your neck. You can't do it. You have to have you can't put it when you put it in the middle of a guy. What they say is like when you put it in the middle of a guy. That's what you're asking for. You're asking you have to be off to the side, man. Especially in MMA, man. You do sloppy takedowns. You get either asked or that happens to you.
I'll let the dude choke me out for however much money they just made. Holy shit. Show me how to do that guillotine thing.
The funny part is it's actually more in your hips than anything. So when he had him in mount, he was able to go like go flat. It's brutal, man. It's hard to get out of that. Especially when you have the arm, like it was the arm in one, so like there's nowhere to go.
Snatch a neck.
Spencer Kyle.
Jacob deGrom dealing. Jesus, man, he fucking dealing in the first game of that doubleheader.
Crazy. I mean, you got to admit that was nice, man. From going from being up against the cage, guy going for a takedown and just boom, locks in submission.
That's his 24th win by submission.
Boom, boom. Hey, arm in, man. Right there. And that's actually when he started arming and then it got straight guillotine at the end.
I don't want to hear him talk.
Michael Bisping. Of course, he's interviewing the middleweight. That's actually fairly impressive considering Damian Maia is the middleweight and he has the most submissions in middleweight history. Wow.
Sorry, the girlfriend came into the room. It's all
what
her
happens?
fault.
Oh, it's all
her. She's the wifey. I'm going to marry her, Steven. You coming to the wedding?
I better be. I better be invited. What are you talking about?
I mean, you're invited. Doesn't mean you get the. I mean, like, inviting. Like, I mean, you got to come to Florida. Though. Are you gonna be like actually like if I invite you, you're gonna come or like?
I mean, I need a good excuse for a vacation. So
invite you, but not the girl or something. Like, what do you?
No, I mean she's coming with me. What do you mean?
Okay, I thought you were talking about.
No, I'm leaving the kids and the dog though. I mean,
well,
when I say vacation, that's what I mean. Like I should be able to get away, have some fun. Yeah.
Also, like like weddings are a great place to like hook up with chicks or meet chicks. So figured maybe you were going that route. I wasn't sure. I thought it was going to be like a Wedding Crashers sort of thing. Like,
I mean, I have those streaks in me.
You're definitely Vince Vaughn too. Like I would be Owen Wilson and you would be Vince Vaughn in that.
Oh man. There's Lupe Gomez. You ready for the women's fight because they're about to throw it down.
Woo! Women! I'm always into women fighting. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that sound offensive? I didn't mean for it to sound that way.
Oh man, we'll learn you're on one of these.
Well, hold on, Steven. I'm not even trying to be. I mean, I'm trying to be funny, but I'm not trying to be like over the top obnoxious here or anything. Didn't they have like a legitimate like sport called Foxy Boxing back in the day? Wasn't that a thing?
No, but there is the lingerie fighting league.
Yeah, like they see what I mean? Like exactly. Like don't act like I'm like such an awful person for trying to.
Well, no, I mean if you look at it the way it's going around, with how the female athlete is in combat sports, we were talking about it on other shows, on Rachel's show, the athletes have OnlyFans pages.
I think she's sexy and also respect the fact that she could kick like any man's ass at any time.
Pretty much.
I can respect both, right?
Yeah, why not?
It's not like that's not like disrespectful. That's like I think you're hot, and I also respect the fact that you could kick my ass, or like I could pretty much any guy I know. I'm pretty sure you could kick their ass. Like I'll line them up for you. I want to see how many of them you can beat. It's really fun. Like I can respect both of those things, right? Like that's like they're both compliments.
Very. But no, we're about a few minutes away before we're joined by Heidi. That should be fun. let everyone know. Make sure you again, forgot to mention this earlier. The to our YouTube listeners, make sure you guys are showing us love and hit up the super chat donation that helps us do everything that we're doing here on A2D. Help us do more things for you guys. Again, like I said, we're got the giveaways already lined up. Make sure you guys are doing that. Anyone who does the super chats per monthly, etc. We'll enter you guys into for a drawing for some other things that I'll be doing as well. At least for anyone for the weekly roundup, anyways. I don't know about the other guys for the other shows. They can do whatever they want for theirs. Tommy and them do their own things and everything like that. So. Oh, wifey's back.
Knockdown. So Whitaker. So both of these guys are like right there as far as.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Robert Whitaker is the former champ. Uriah Hall, there's an amazing one. We've already had Eric Anders on the show, and Israel Adesanya is one of the guys. He's the champion. He's one of the spectacular fighters. Just had a failed attempt at going up to light heavyweight to try to win the UFC title there, since John Jones had vacated, and now going up to heavyweight and possibly fighting Francis Ngannou. And please stop. Please. Really? Stop. You guys
God, Jesus Christ.
You guys are now if it was actually Joel Embiid, that might be a believable thing. But please.
It is Joel tweeting. You know what? Are we sure it's not Joel? This sounds like something he would do. He sounds like he would just be like at home on like a random Saturday night doing that.
No, I think Joel's smart enough that he has more respect enough for these athletes to know that he ain't down with all that.
He would tweet it and like make it clear that he's like just being funny in it. Like, I think I'm watching this and I think I could beat up any one of them in a fight. Type of thing. Like,
oh man,
we should get together and turn it into a charity boxing match.
This is just great. Listen to this one. You guys, I love you.
That's Sam Hinkie? Maybe it's Sam Hinkie.
It's his burner, right?
That's Sam Hinkie's burner. Yeah, he's got nothing better to do.
No. Definitely not that one either. Definitely not that one either.
You're a god?
Why does everyone think they're a god?
If you're Sam Hinkie, I agree. I think you are. You're like a godlike figure, to be honest. If we ever win a championship with this team, see, you're very good at this. You're good. All right. See, there's some trolls like you most of these guys. Like most of them, take notes. You other trolls out there need to take notes. This guy's doing it correct. This is the way you do it.
Let's do it fun.
But if we ever win, if we win the championship this year, I mean, does Sam Hinkie not finally get the credit he fucking deserves for starting this whole thing?
Well, I mean, it's like we were saying when we were talking with Jermaine Jones a few weeks ago. Like, I think he's right, man. This has to be the year. You don't want the Nets to kind of put some steam together, put some things together, and and gel and have Nash figure it out as a coach and do his thing like that. So, oh man, here we go.
I mean, if you're Sam Hinkie, I don't disagree. Cheers to you, Mr. Hinkie.
Cheers to you, Mr. Hinkie. Oh man,
eating mac and cheese. I'm sorry, Stephen. You knew I was on. This is what happens when I umpire till 7 o'clock on Saturday nights. And
appreciate the love, T the P, and also again, guys, appreciate all the love on all the platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Don't forget again the giveaways I've already mentioned tonight. Super chats also help out the fam here as well, and Keep tuning in. Keep trolling on.
Yeah, you can troll here anytime you want. You're pretty. Yeah, as I said, the rest of these trolls need to take notes. This guy's pretty awesome.
Now, I guess we'll quick get into this now since we're kind of already on the Sixers talk because Trust the Process had to hop in there. Oh, wait a minute. Let's hold that thought. Pump the brakes real quick as our guest for this afternoon just hopped in the back. Let me throw Heidi on here and let's have some fun. Let's talk some sports, fam. How we doing?
All right, how you guys doing?
Oh, we're having a blast. Watching the fights. We get ready to talk a little bit of everything. First and foremost, appreciate the time. Long time coming. Was definitely waiting to get you on here. Since I hop back into things, and we're gonna be talking all sports here on the weekly roundup. I know that's something you've been doing yourself as well on your end. Obviously, me and you connected through the MMA community, but obviously I see in the background the Raiders gear is all out in full effect.
Yeah, this is my studio backdrop for when I'm working. So, I just figured it's better to be out here right now than in there with my 3-year-old who's pushing like the need for sleep. So.
Oh yeah, so it's like I don't want to sleep, but I'm tired. So
yeah. That's exactly.
Oh, I know where you're at.
Steven, why is her room better than yours? Look at all of her memorabilia. I mean,
I got a lot of stuff back there. I gotta change my setup. I'm waiting to get my mixer. I got my mic off, so I'm waiting to change this whole setup down here. So she's definitely got me beat right now.
Oh yeah, I didn't even bring out. Like you said, the MMA stuff I've got is not even on full display. I've got one glove. Brian Stan actually signed that one. That's why I keep it there. So it's like
I got Richmond's glove. It was after one of his tournament fights for Bellator. He's like, "Do you want me to wash the blood?" I was like, "Nah, leave it on there, bro.
Yeah, right.
Leave that on there. Leave that on there." That's cool because especially because we've had Mike on recently. He's got the big fight coming up, and I got to hear your thoughts. We haven't talked. So what are your thoughts on like everything that's happened with BKFC? What they've done over the past few years, and what do you think that they're adding to the combat sports world?
The whole combat sports world, started over like the idea of spectacle. So if there's any combat sports fan out there that doesn't say they're interested in watching the spectacle, the bare knuckle fighting, then they're lying, because it's this, I think, a natural part of the progression of what we've seen with like the craziness. I mean, you think of the Yama Pit, you think of like back in the IFL, and there's like different tournament leagues, and that's kind of what the professional fighter league has done now. And then Bellator style's even doing it now with the tournaments that they've been having. So it's like, you always want to see different things that catch your eye, and it's great to have, I think, there are many levels now to do it on. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Although there's some people like I don't want to see fight again after I've seen them do it once. I'm like, that was ugly. Please don't go back. So it's just
well, I mean, that's another thing we'll get an answer to tonight, because obviously, Frank Mir's coming out of retirement. He's doing his boxing thing with
whoa. Frank Mir's coming out? I did not hear this.
Yeah, he's coming out of retirement. He's not fighting Antonio Tarver initially announced. I forget who they did eventually matched him up with, but from just what I got from like the media from this week is that no matter what, his intention is to go to BKFC. Me and you've watched him over the years fighting. Stand up isn't his greatest suit. I am the biggest Frank Mir stain you'll ever find on this planet. I promise you that. I promise you. I'm really intrigued just to see what he's worked on. If he is found a renewed pep in his step, so to speak. I'd like to kind of reserve it to see what happens tonight. I think just from the responses, I think Heidi's in the same boat with me.
You should keep like a mask over my face until we're ready to talk, right? Because,
well, like listen, like
all the tells.
we've seen so many fighters get stay too long in the sport, and me and you've covered so many things that have happened in the sport where just unfortunate things where promoters do this things, fighters push envelopes, and the ultimately the families are the ones that get hurt. So like you said, that there are some people who we don't want to see continue fighting, and that's what I got to ask you. We're seeing a lot of these guys that are kind of washing out from Bellator, from the UFC, kind of making their way over. But I think Dave is actually doing a really good job of actually finding newer, younger talent with his Total Line series. I think they do tryouts just about in every state they do after they hold an event like the following day. So it's one of these things where it's really interesting to see where he'll be in another 5 to 10 years, considering I think they just announced that Nebraska is another state that just opened up as far as sanctioning goes. So they're doing a lot of fun stuff with that way. And then also you're hearing, the investors they got involved in and stuff like that. So, I mean, maybe it comes to a time where it's going to be really interesting to see the battles of combat sports on the weekends that we're going to have to fight the covers, at least some of us that still do it.
Yeah, right. I mean, oh man, I'm just hoping that I can still keep on some of these big cards right now because as you know, I've started some Raiders coverage. So trying to balance them is become quite a puzzle for me. And obviously I'm very passionate about MMA. This from just, we've had the conversations,
Absolutely, man. We will always bleed for our combat sports athletes. It's one of these one of these things. When you cover it long enough and you watch, some of these fighters grow up and get these chances. It's following Brittany Elkin as she was a young amateur coming up as a professional, and now watching her, seeing the announcement out. Now she has this big, big shot, big fight against Clarissa. It's really fun watching these athletes kind of grow. So how it is. Sometimes we have to stay partial in our coverage, but that doesn't mean that we don't become partial to the human beings that they are.
Yeah, especially when you do in-depth pieces with them, you follow them around for months, you get to know the ins and outs of who they are and their backgrounds and how they came. And most of the fighters I've met or worked with, and I'm sure your experience is the same, are so humble, and it's one of those things that they never really forget their roots or where they come from for the most part. So when you're out there and you're in the trenches with them and then you're following something up to the culmination of the fight, I'm not going to lie, I won't say any names, but there's been one or two that I've sat on my hands, literally, when I've watched them fight, because I don't want to, I'm not going to be a clapper on press row. It's not, I'm a fangirl, but I'm not going to be a fangirl. I got to keep that level of professionalism, and I do. And I think I've managed a very, good balance with that, and I never will say the ones that I am a super fan of until they retired or something like that, or they're gone from the sport, or I'm completely done covering it. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I think that's more professional, not make myself a mark and then people say, hey.
But see, I mean, you mark out around here. You can mark out when you're on there. Go ahead and do it. I mean, that's what we do here.
Yeah, right.
It's one of the things why I joined these guys over here is because one of the things we're bringing it for the fan by the fan, and it's one of these things where part of combat sports is kind of when the media has always kind of been fans when you really think about it. We've been the ones supporting the sport, growing it as it grown over the last 15 to 20 years. So some of us we can't help but be stains of promotions, guys, women, etc. And I now got to ask you, obviously with the news that came out this week, what are your thoughts on the move Shannon Knapp made this week? She's had so many offers over the last handful of years. She's done everything to kind of do things right by the athlete over the years, right. letting girls fight here and there and etc. Doing unthought of things. What is your initial thought on the sale, and what do you think is kind of the future of what Invicta FC is going to be, and from the female athlete's perspective?
Well, I hope it stays true to what Shannon built, just because everything that she's done with that sport since day one, if you remember back to Invicta 1 and people couldn't get through the paywall and there was this massive breakdown for, I think, the first 1 or 2 fight cards where people.
It was so rough. It was, dude.
Yeah.
It crashed the servers.
Yep.
like people were like, I can't watch it. What's going on? We want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Somebody live stream it for us or give us responses. Something like it was.
And
rough.
she did the right thing as a business person through all of that. And, she like refunded the money. And I actually remember getting a refund, and it was in my Twitter because or was it my Facebook? I think you had to like the page to be able to get into the fights. And so she actually wrote a message, or somebody did, that it seemed like very personalized. It said, here's a refund. Sorry for the trouble, this and that. And I was like, no, I don't want the money back. I want the fighters to be able to have the money that, they were promised for, however many sales that they were getting, because at the time there was really no big platform for female athletes in MMA. And she was really part of the reason that the envelope with that got pushed. And, there might have been smaller fights like, with them along the way, here or there, feature fights, Chris Cyborg, obviously, Gina Carano, all of those people that started out earlier, Shayna Baszler, it was like they were always.
People forget about Shayna Baszler. I mean, now she's a WWE star, and like, she, maybe didn't always work out her way in MMA, but she's one of the pioneers of the sport. I really hope she continues to do well in the WWE. Hopefully she can bring some more of her friends back over, and we can really see some cool storylines over there. But
for sure,
she's one of the special ones. But from what I've read so far, from she's still going to be managing, running things. Just like on paper, why she sold it, and she's a senior senior executive of their sports management group now, and still going to oversee everything and stuff like that. She's been really good at making these right decisions, and it's always been about her athletes. So I trust that this was the right one. I think it's going to be the right one. Bigger platform, access TV, the possibility of pay-per-view, this year, next year, etc. Whenever it happens, it can only be better for the athletes that are coming in.
Definitely. Yeah. And like you said, they have that platform now. So as they get out, to make bigger fights, hopefully it'll continue to progress the sport for women that want to get involved. They have, more eyes looking to the screens and looking to find their name, and you could pop it on cable and they become more of a household name. So I mean, that's a great thing. And she's done that and really built people. Like if you look at Rose Namajunas' career and the armbar, that I remember this day, the flying armbar against Katrina Catrone.
Dude, I still to this day remember hearing Pat scream, "Hit it, hit it, hit it!" I'm like, what is he saying? And then boom. I'm like, what?
Yeah, he knew it was there. So it is one of those, if we didn't have all of that, would we know Rose Namajunas as commonly as we do now? I'm sure she would have been a star, but she needed to have a platform to springboard off of, and Shannon's given that to so many fighters.
And not just the Roses of the world, like some of the non-recognizable names that your generic fans don't know, like the people that me and you we'll start spitting out names, and everyone's like, who are you talking about?
Yana Kunitskaya, they saw her maybe as a one-off in the UFC, but she was a part of that, that culture that Invicta was building, and then you go back even to some other names like Alexa Grasso or Ariana Adanya, and how they got their start there. They were fighting sure in other promotions as well, but I think that was where the UFC really got to see who they were and what they were capable of. And then the whole strawweight division that literally came from Invicta, from like
that pissed
everybody.
Off so many female Invicta fans. I didn't get it. I'm like, why are you guys upset about them getting a better opportunity? And Shannon will just bring in a whole new group. It was, but yeah, like they literally, unfortunately the UFC is going away from the featherweight division. Obviously I think, we're seeing a lot of them go over to PFL and Bellator and whatnot, but I really think, really a fun time for the female combat sports athlete. But then when they spent a whole lot of time on MMA, wanted to talk some football with you too. Obviously we're just outside of a week. Here we go. Obviously in Philadelphia, we're praying Howie Roseman doesn't crap his pants again and do some more stupid stuff. You know, and see, she's laughing. She knows, like, literally. I gotta ask you. You know, you're a media member outside of the Philadelphia sports bubble. You know, you're covering your sport now. Thinking of what's going on here, looking from the outside, looking in. Like, how would you explain to another Raider fan what's going on here in Philadelphia? Because
with Philadelphia, yeah. I mean, quarterback is going to be interesting to see how that position is in the coming season. What's going to go on there? Wide receiver wise, it's like it seems to be like, if I'm just saying it as a gloss over, that they have chances to make it really great, and then once those pieces start getting built up, they're gone. And it's like,
but I think that's more the thing. Like when you look at it, not just I'm not talking about the talent on the team, just the function in the front office. When you look at that, like when you see the reports that come out this week, where you know they were demanding that Frank Reich be fired after the 16th season, and Carson steps up in his through intermediary, apparently his agent, and that was obviously the straw that started the fracture between the upper management relationship at Carson, but also led to him being run out of town. If you're like the crazy part is that if you're looking at like even just a free agent, like why would you want to come here?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of an ugly situation right now, right? So it's, when you break it down like that, I mean, when you're trying to sell it too, it's even more complicated as you start looking at, like you said, the front office. The guys want to come into a place that has the dynasty that they can just say, okay, I can come in here and win a Super Bowl, and obviously that was a thing that happened with Nick Foles not too long ago.
Hey man, we made it happen.
Yeah.
That's what Al Davis get away with that for years, right? Like Al Davis was a very demanding, in your face, I'm going to be very hands-on type of owner. But when you're winning Super Bowls and you've built a brand like the Raiders were, he could attract free. He could get people to want to come play there.
Yeah.
Same thing kind of what the Cowboys have done with Jerry Jones. As annoying as Jerry Jones is, players want to play in Dallas.
Yeah.
My concern with the Eagles is Jeffrey Lurie's now this Jerry Jones, Al Davis type owner, and players don't want to come play in Philly. They don't want to come here and deal with the weather and the assholes and the insults.
I still think your biggest problem isn't even the free agents, is these young guys. Like you're looking at the college guys that coming in the draft. Like we want to be bringing in these guys from these big conferences, and why would they want to come here?
We can't draft them either. Even if they want to come here, we can't draft them. So how he swings and misses. So.
You see how they all deal with it, especially coming, up in the 2021 draft. There's a lot of talent there.
Yeah.
What they're going to go after, who knows? That's like you alluded to earlier, but I mean, it's a tough situation up there right now.
Oh, Steven, are you watching the fight there?
Yes,
no,
I'm watching it.
What happened?
Panay just got tossed across the cage.
She was going for a triangle halfway across the cage.
Cadena literally tossed her across the cage. So she had her like literally like she's holding there trying to get the triangle or arm bar, and literally got broke free of it. Just but Panay, like she's always long, but she doesn't have like a whole lot of weight to her, so that doesn't surprise me. Like
no, like she's
a smaller person throwing her around.
Much. Yeah. I don't think she cuts very much.
It's always a problem of her being that long. I've always kind of felt like she's always should have been at a weight class higher. I don't like we don't always like to tell athletes where they should fight at, but it's always kind of looks like she seems outmassed, out muscled, despite being the normally the longer fighter.
Which brings me to the question of when will the UFC have an atomweight division? Penne fought at atomweight, so did Karate Hottie. Back in the day, they were atomweights. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of atomweights, but it'd be nice to see some of them.
I know, like there's two of them that I always got love for because I've known them from the regional scene. Was it Jamie Henshaw is another one?
Yeah.
I don't know if she's competed a whole lot the last few years, and I know she's been going through a lot. Kara Bahatora, she's another one. I don't know if she's going to be back this year. I know she's going through a lot of stuff. She's doing more the social media thing these days. So,
whoops. I went in to go look at. Sorry, I was trying to see a replay of the fight.
Oh yeah, she's like, I want to see this. What are you guys talking about?
I know. I went to see. I'm looking on Twitter, and I almost pulled up some pop-up thing. Here we go. Okay, I got it. I need to see.
Yeah, now she's in the same.
Oh, there
position.
it is. Boom.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive.
Man, these
turn
girls
down the
always
volume.
they always throw it.
You guys getting nabbed on a copyright infringement for audio.
Yeah, I know. That's why I always leave it on mute.
Yeah.
That's why I always leave it on mute. That's the key to it. We learned that years ago. It's either stills or there's no audio.
You've been doing this a while, haven't you?
Just a wee bit. Just a wee
Can't
bit.
hear it. It didn't happen.
Like, yeah, thankfully. Well, no,
are you an Eagle fan?
Well, of course, I'm a Philly four, and I'm always trying to bring more combat sports to us Philly fans, and they just replayed her toss across the page.
That's kind of become his mission. Is like the kind of like
Well, no, like we even got the
combat sports.
The kid in this the boxer who fought last week. No one's talking about him. He's a freaking knockout machine. No one's talking about him. Well, am I missed something? Is Philly not a fight town? Did I miss something? No.
You're right.
Kind of a fight town. I think I heard. I heard that before.
I mean, it's a big boxing town. That's why someone needs to talk to Dana. We need to come back. It's been too long.
What am I thinking of right now? And I can't. Paul Felder. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
big Philly guy.
Well, yeah, no. Everyone talks about Paul. Why does no one talk about Sean Brady? That kid is going to be That kid is going to be the welterweight champ of that division. There was not a doubt in my mind.
I'm gonna write it down right now. On Saturday, April.
She's gonna quote me on it. She's gonna come back. I'm gonna get a tweet. All right, Steve, you got this one.
Yeah.
Listen, because you're talking about Felder. Listen, my both of my daughters used to train down at Daniels. So when Sean was coming up, he was throwing around the heavyweight over around there, tossing Paul around like he was a rag doll. And at the time, granted, Paul's not the welterweight, obviously, but he's the guy in that gym. So like when you sit there and then hear him come off the mat, like sitting there like Sean Brady's going to be a world champion. You kind of pick up yours and take notice, and his record speaks for it, and his body work speaks for it. We'll have to see. He's just gotten into the top 10, and even you look at the other guys that not Gracie, the Gracie guys. You go and look at the Dawkins brothers. Chris and Kyle. I mean, you got the heavyweight guys. He's the Philly cop, and Kyle's sitting there, banging on the top 10. So we got like 3-4 guys, in the UFC. Getting into the top of the divisions, and you look at Philadelphia media and no one's talking about them. I'm like, I don't know what else to do.
She gets power bombed halfway across the ring, Steven, and still wins the split decision.
That's the way MMA works, man. Just because you win a moment doesn't mean you win the fight.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, I had the whole fight on. I mean, do I have no idea how this sport works, Steven? Because I can watch boxing and I'm usually pretty accurate. I'm like, I feel like this
because you're only judging one aspect of the fight. You're only judging one aspect of the fight. Anybody can tell if you can dip a punch or move a punch. The problem with MMA scoring with fans who are not involved in it on a daily basis is they don't understand the scoring part of the other aspects of the fight, of the grappling, how they score that, and it's still subjective. It's still things that us as journalists, fighters, we still argue over because it's still not real definitive and clear.
So I'm reading Lauren Murphy's tweet. Lauren Murphy says, I guess it comes down to how they scored 2. She had the first for Penne, the third for Godinez. So who won the second round, says Lauren Murphy. I thought it was close. Penne's grappling versus Godinez hitting some power shots.
And there's another underdog, underspoken fighter that doesn't get enough credit as Lauren Murphy.
Right?
Man, and getting back to the NFL.
Sorry, I digress. I started looking.
I know. Well, obviously, the fight's going on. Jessica.
It was the Batista bomb. I mean, we had
we had the black belt just get power bombed halfway across the ring cage. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you what. The move she did where the girl tried to hip toss her, Gudanas or whatever, tried to hip toss her. And she turned it into some type of weird submission hold. That was pretty tight. I'll tell you what, that was slick.
Zach, we need to get you into an MMA gym down there in Florida just for a few weeks, and I promise you'll catch up on some things. I promise you. There's plenty of them down there.
Yeah, Florida's a hotbed for MMA.
Yeah, I know. That's what I've been trying to tell these guys, man. Listen, you don't know where you're missing out. Especially if you haven't been to a live event. Once you go to a live event, you'll figure it all out. It's over. It'll be your new drug, I promise you. But back to the NFL draft. Obviously a lot of Eagles already made some moves. There's some rumors that they're moving back up into the top 10. Obviously I hear Oakland it could possibly be one of those teams looking to move around. What are your thoughts on you think your Raiders are going to make a draft day move, or are they going to stay put and select the best player available?
That's a tough call. It's one of those drafts where there's a lot of talent right at the top. I don't think they would move obviously for a quarterback, but when you start thinking about some of the defensive players that are there, there's a possibility. I don't think they'll reach for a cornerback, but I'm thinking, even right tackle is a spot that they really need to solidify. So that's an obvious spot where they're going to look to draft.
Yeah, but see, I think that the tackle worth taking for them is going to be gone by the time they pick. So if they go to
I think it's the guy that they're probably thinking.
Yeah, me and Zach agreed. He's not making it past 7.
Okay.
Vera Tucker. I think Vera Tucker would be there at 12 when we pick.
Yeah. Elijah Vera Tucker. Yeah, he should be there.
Yeah. I think he's going to be there at 12 when we pick. That could actually be a possible option for Oakland if they wanted to be one of our partners. It's Sewell. Sewell will be gone, and the other kid from Northwestern.
Slater.
Yeah. Sewell and Slater. They'll both be gone. In the top 7 to 10 picks.
Yeah, Rashawn Slater. Probably. Yeah, he'd probably be gone early. So I don't know. As somebody with the Eagles, who would you rather see?
Listen. We would be fine with the right wide receiver. I think if you ask the majority of the guys us all here on A2D, we would probably say go get the cornerback and give us Patrick Surtain Jr.
Yeah.
If Surtain's there at 12, I think it's a pretty easy pick.
Right.
I really do. I think if he's there at 12, it's all perfect almost.
I like him at 12. I see him there.
I think if he's gone and a guy like Parsons is there, I love him at 12. But I just whoever your best player available is on your board at that time, don't overthink it because there's going to be good talent there. Whoever you feel at that moment, and this is where I'm really, really scared with Howie in charge of all this, because he always overthinks it. And that's what I was saying. Literally, me and Steven were talking about it. We were like, watch, Patrick Surtain and Parsons could both be on the board, and Howie would still find a way to take Vera Tucker at 12. He would still find a way to do it. And, it's not that, I think Vera Tucker's a bad prospect, but picking him over those two is insanity. But that's a Howie Roseman move. He's such a nerd. He would take the offensive lineman in that position over the two impact defensive players.
Right. It's at 17. I always think I know what the Raiders are going to do. I'm okay, your obvious needs are a safety and a right tackle. Those are just the two, real obvious needs. So there might be something like a wide receiver that they take. And I'm huh? That's the kind of stuff that, it's very Roseman-esque. So it's what's going to happen there? Who knows? As much as I've doped him out in the past 2 years, when I start looking at the draft, the person I think never had. Last year, I thought CeeDee Lamb because I thought Jerry Jeudy would be gone. So I figured for sure they're going to get CeeDee Lamb because Jerry Judy's going to go early. And then that'll leave Ruggs and, Justin Jefferson, I didn't have as high on my board. There was one guy that I worked with. He had him like up, in the top like 15. I had Jefferson in my head like as more of like
us here in Philadelphia. That was the wide receiver. If you told some that was the name everyone here wanted, and then
we were doing a live show. Like, there was a live show here on A2D with a bunch of us involved with it. I mean, live at the moment, we were convinced. I think everybody thought that Jefferson was going to be the pick. I mean, they showed the video on the TV screen of him on the phone as the Eagles were on the clock, and you're like, oh, it's a done deal. Like, there it is. That's how he finds a way to fuck it up every time.
Well, no, I mean, is it not more epic that they go to the Minnesota and that they're literally laughing their asses off at us?
Oh my goodness! I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure they were. Sorry, this is bothering me.
You got it right in the middle.
I'm always flashing it out of my head. You're not
man.
At least we have each other. We're both struggling with the same issue, right? Steven would know nothing about that.
I lost it. I shaved it all off.
Yeah, it's been a long time since he had to worry about any of that. But.
No worries now.
Yeah. Nah, but like you're sitting there, you think your guys are going to go more tackle safety than anything, not offense, and how do you think that quarterback thing is going to last there? You guys are just about on just about as thin ice as we were the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, they as far as the quarterback, you said with the Q.
Yeah,
I was making sure I heard it right. Okay, yeah, not cornerback with the C, but quarter. I got you. Yeah, no, the quarterback. I feel like for the Raiders, and they have their three guys now. I don't think that Mariota's going to be pushing Carr as much as everybody thought last year. That just doesn't seem to be an option. Seems like he's going to be a very well-paid backup. And that Nathan Peterman is still there because Gruden seems to like him in the system. So they have the backup to the backup, and he likes having three. So I always thought last year they were going to do more of like, kind of the Saints thing with Mariota and like use him more as a joker and, out of the backfield and have him take some direct snaps and run it in or things like that. I don't know. But it's just when you have a quarterback like that has that kind of ability to run and get away and elude defenders, I was surprised they didn't use him more.
You think maybe it was just because it was his first year last year, and maybe Gruden might use that more of him this year, getting more comfortable with him being there, etc., knowing what he's capable of?
Yeah, I think he was just like injured too, so he needed a lot of rehab time, then learning the system because the guys didn't really have the same offseason, and it doesn't look like they will this year either. So with the OTAs, to come into a new place, to learn the system, to rehab from injury, to get back out there and know all the book, it's one of those things. I think it took him a while. And once obviously he got that opportunity when Carr had the groin pool in the later half of the year, he really shined, I think, in that. And there was obviously, I think, one big play where he had a fumble, but other than that, like, I thought he played some good football and he really moved the offense and pushed the ball down the field. So it's what you want to see. And for your Eagles, that's going to be something that I think Hurts is good, but it's like, they have that younger guy, Jalen Reagor, around him. So I think that he's going to be a stud once he gets going with them. Maybe they have
a lot of people in Philadelphia don't feel like that. And the fact that, his
still early here.
I thought he was going to be so much more last year than he was.
Yeah, but then also he's
never get back on.
And then he's requesting to play slot this year.
And
okay. You're not. And then you're not.
Wait, Jalen Reagor's requesting to play slot.
That's what I've heard.
What?
I hadn't heard that yet.
It's like we can't win. We can't win with our picks. We can't win with the players. We just can't win.
Requesting to do anything.
And this is why I said the only thing Trump said right last year was bad things happen in Philadelphia.
Oh.
We didn't know he was talking about our sports team, and he cursed us even more.
Yeah. Man.
Now, where do you see what is your pre-draft outlook for your team? Do you think guys think you leapfrog the Chargers and maybe have a chance at some playoff opportunities? What are you looking at? What your team is now going into the draft?
Yeah, I like that. That's tough. I keep wavering on it. And I think I'm going to stick with what my mind keeps saying is more of a need for the defense. I think they need to build defensively. And so that leads me to pick safety, Trayvon Merrick. And I think that's at TCU. So I think that's where I'm going to stick with. That's what I kept predicting in my head that would happen. And as many tackles as there are, I think they can still get a quality tackle at either 48, 79, 80, because they have some good picks up through the third round. So, yeah, I'm going to say they go safety first and then look at what they need to do with the draft capital and trying to secure a right tackle.
I think that the craziest thing that I think moving forward is I have a feeling we probably will see multiple first day trades, at least in my opinion.
It's always fun, right? I always want the chaos. I'm like, bring it. Let's see.
Well, obviously, we're the media members. That gives us more stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Although, I like being comfortable in the fact, like, I'm going to actually be traveling to Cleveland. So in my travel,
so you're going down there for the draft experience.
Yeah. So to be there and like to have my camera ready at 17, and then they say there's been a trade. I'm like, and I'm not where I wanted to be.
Well, no, that was us last year. We were all live in the pick went in, and we were like,
not only that, but A2D and Steven, you were here at the time, I don't think, but when the draft was in Philly in 2017, as a group, a lot of us from A2D actually went.
I was there down there. Yeah,
that kind of what you're talking about is. You kind of like we were. We'll never forget it because it was the year we drafted Derek Barnett, and I can't remember who it was. The linebacker from Alabama that fell and that eventually went to the 49ers. It was a total train wreck. I think that's who everybody in Philly was like, kind of like pounding the table for at that time. And we drafted Derek Barnett over him, and I mean, there was not happy people in that.
Now you have your pick, but is there kind of consensus of your fan base of who they want?
Yeah, I'm seeing more that they want to go with the linebacker out of Notre Dame, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I've seen that quite a bit, and I've also seen more like on the Darrisaw wagon as well. A lot of people want to get him, but like you said, I don't think he'll be there. I don't know. I don't think he'll be there at 17. So
got to pray for some trades up at the top, and you get some run on some skill position players on the offensive side of ball, and if you get a guy like Parsons, the Micah Parsons to go in the top 15, then that's another plus for you as well. So,
I love the kid from Notre Dame, to be honest. I love him as a prospect. I wouldn't take him at 12. Like if Parsons was there, like I probably like Parsons more. But I mean, like you're talking about splitting hairs. That's how much I really like that kid. He would be a great pick for you guys at 17. I honestly think he would step in and make an impact right away.
Yeah, definitely. And that's like something I think that they've been missing is like, well, last year they brought in, free agents, obviously, to try to boost up that linebacker core with Nick Kwiatkowski and then Corey Littleton. And then they signed Nicholas Moreau again. So it seems kind of like it's set, but it wouldn't hurt to bring in somebody young to step in and fill any voids that aren't being met, by other people. So it helped push some of those other guys that were underproducing last year, like Littleton. He came in with really high expectations. And he even said it in the last, press conference of the season. I spoke with him and I asked him, what he did and how he felt about the output. And he was disappointed in himself. So hopefully that sparked a fire with these guys to come out and, be 100% next season. And we'll see if they do bring in somebody young like that, that would definitely help push them. So yeah, I've definitely seen the fan base more so pushing for linebacker and pushing more so for maybe another defensive tackle, or even obviously right tackle is the main, like it's like, hello, Trent Brown's gone, so they need somebody there. But yeah, it's like still got to kind of wait and see how that shakes out. And it's a good depth, a good draft for tackle though. There's a lot of depth there, so I think they'll be able to get a quality tackle anywhere. I'd say at least before the third.
Is there a lot of like? There's, let's word this correctly, because there's obviously, it's the Raiders, right? They're high profile. It's the Davis family. They brought in John Gruden with the big contract. There's always expectations, but is it almost like like this year? Like, is there higher expectations, like more expectations ever? Like, dude, you need to go make a playoff run. Like, we're paying you all this money, one of the highest paid coaches in football, the big 10-year contract. Like, they got to, it's Jack Del Rio took them to the playoffs with Derek Carr at quarterback. Yeah. How much pressure is there from your perspective?
I don't think so much from the front office as there is from the fan base. The fan base is hungry. I saw a guy, and I can't remember who it was, but I saw it retweeted by somebody I follow. And he said today that, hey guys, if we just say that they'll get one Super Bowl and win before I die, that'll give me hope. And so I think that's where the fan base is at right now. A lot of them are very frustrated.
See, I think that's the fans that a promise that a lot of Eagles fans made to God. And I think they need to rethink it. I think they need to rethink that because I think we could have had multiple ones and you guys undershot it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if honestly, if anyone needs to have prayers answered, it wouldn't be our Eagles, it's the Flyers right now. They need everything they can get, but that's besides the point.
Let's not even talk about them, please.
Now actually, I wanted to get your thoughts on something because obviously, you're at this point where you cover multiple sports. You cover MMA. You're now covering the Raiders here in the NFL. What is special about covering the NFL to you now, and how does it compare to some of the things you've accomplished and done in MMA?
Well, when I first started out, it was 1998. Yeah, 1998. When I started out covering sports. And so I actually had a job out of college that wasn't really what I wanted to do, but I took it because I didn't know how the whole process worked. I thought, okay, if I get a job at this TV station, I could work my way into sports, right? But I didn't realize you had to actually start in sports. I just took a job with the station. So I was working as a production assistant and I kept asking, how do I cover sports? How do I cover sports? So finally they let me help them with cables at a game. And, it was that's where my passion was when I first came out because, in 1998, MMA was super underground. It wasn't even really on my radar until the early 2000s. So I didn't know much about the sport until I saw a BJ Penn fight. And that was when it all started.
BJ always does it, man.
Yeah. And then there's some pride, things that we watched also back in the day, house parties, things like that. My brother-in-law, he used to always get MMA fights at his house whenever it was a barbecue. So, that's just what we did. And it started, even before that with boxing. When, the heyday of the heavyweights is when I was a kid. So I got to see all of those fights, and that was kind of, I guess, what helped when I started covering MMA. It was that background and knowing all of that stuff. But yeah, just to answer the question, sorry, I always digress on these things. But yeah, I just was hungry to, do something with the NFL, to do anything with baseball. I loved both of those sports a lot. So I would go out to Candlestick because I was working in San Francisco at the time, and it was Candlestick then. And then I think it was Monster Park after. There's so many names, but we went and I used to do the cables out there for the 49er games just to get involved with stuff. And then I moved to New York thinking I would be able just to jump in because it was the number one market and that I would be able to find a job. And, and it turned out that after a few years of being there, I found a part-time gig at CBS working for the NFL Today Show. And so I used to do stats and numbers for all of the games. And then you write them down. This is crazy. You'd write them down in pencil and cover the game.
My God.
Yeah. And it's 2005 or so. And you'd write them down and then hand over the stats to the runners who'd take them to the talent. So I was that was a cool job, And back when they were starting to track stuff for fantasy sports that was just starting really. I mean, there's some people have leagues that go back and back, but as far as an official site that was tracking them, the way that they used to do it was nuts. And watching them put all these numbers in the computer, it's crazy. So I got to see how the behind the scenes work. And, yeah, I mean, I really owe my jump in this whole business, like everything career-wise, to a guy named Pat Kerwin who used to work with the Jets, and he was a personality at Sirius Radio. And as a side gig, because you can't just live in New York on part-time CBS money, he had found me a restaurant. He was a regular there. And he would come in, and I saw him writing stuff on napkins, and it was always like, here's the X, here's O. And I was like, oh, so you're pulling the flat out, and then you're bringing in this guy on a blitz? I was like, okay. And I was like, through the B gap. And he's like, wait, you know what you're talking about. So yeah, he started talking to me about football, and that was our conversation every time he would come in there. And so he was like, you can't be working at this restaurant. You need a full-time job. So he helped me get my start over at Sirius Radio when I was there. And then I got to really get involved with everything there. And I was working, covering play-by-play for pretty much like every year, any sport that came up. And they were just like, okay, here's the game, 4 hours, write the play-by-play, mark everything that happens. And if a host calls for a highlight, you're sending it in, so that was like the very early starts. And then I started getting into MMA around that time. And it's funny, I would have like the, radio on an MMA channel to listen to something happening there. And then I'd be actually like tracking the football or basketball game. And one of the guys was like, you're really into MMA, huh? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, we're doing this show. Do you want to come track some highlights for that? And it was for a guy named Ariel Helwani at the time. So it's like, sure. Yeah, let's go do that. So I started getting into everything from there. And then that really helped me. I started the podcast, the Fight Corner, that eventually got picked up in Las Vegas. And that's how I got here. So it's been quite a journey, just going through one step to another step and, making it back around full circle to the NFL. So
I guess Vegas is officially your home, and that's your home team now?
Yeah. This is it. For now, this is where I'm going to be. This is where my family is. This is where, everything that right now my whole world circulates around. So this is going to be it for a minute.
So you mentioned how big of a baseball fan you are. Okay. And being in Vegas, Vegas is one of the hot names for possible, baseball expansion and all that. Now the 51s have played out there forever. Mm-hmm. And our own Frank Besby, somebody that works here at A2D, his family, his uncle actually helps run the Las Vegas 51s and has for a long time. So I'm curious in all of this of how, if they bring Major League Baseball to Vegas, how does it, like with the 51s, like how does all of that play in? Would they take that stadium and try to upgrade it into some sort of Major League stadium? Like how does all that play in? How does the 51's existence play into all that?
It would still be here, but I think it would still stay as a system for, another team. Yeah. Okay. But they would definitely not be able to make the stadium that they have right now into one for major leagues. It's just too small. And then on the backside of where their stadium is the Golden Knights City Arena. So they have them back to back. So the Golden Knights actually make jokes that if somebody can hit 350 feet, that'll be going into their rink. So so they said that that's not an ideal place to like expand the outfield. But they have a plot of land that's been rumored out here for a while in Henderson to possibly be a launching ground for an MLB team. So that area is about less than 3 to 4 miles away from where the Raiders are housed now, the headquarters, and about 2 miles away also from where they're building the Aces home. So Henderson is looking to come up as a place for baseball, for women's NBA, for the Raiders headquarters. And then also on the other side, you have the Silver Knights. So it's pretty crazy how much this has become a sports town, and, all kind of started, with
MMA.
Yeah, it's nuts. And you think about that, and now they have all these extra NASCAR races here too. Like, this is becoming more and more of a hotbed for people to come for any sport.
And it really is the entertainment.
And people can say what they want
in all facets.
People can say what they want. That doesn't happen unless Dana White and all them guys down there who are the big guys down there in Vegas, making sure Vegas has really grown and fruitful in that area as far as the sports entertainment market goes.
Right. And You know, you got to give the UFC credit. There's so much out here that was built around what the UFC did. There's places out here and UNLV and high schools named after the Fertittas because of the money that they were able to invest into the city, facilities that they couldn't have imagined to have. If you go to this one, people know it from preps, Bishop Gorman, and you go look at their locker room, it rivals a college locker room, a state of the art. It's beautiful. So it's like
all the top athletes in the nation come out of there.
Yeah. A lot of Fertitta money went into this town, and it shows in various places, from high schools to the different stadiums that they help to collaborate on and everything. They were go ahead.
Like I said, I really like to think that the Fertittas, Dana, and all play a part into what Vegas has been able to do over the past 20 years as being able to make it a sports town, make it a hotbed. And if I don't remember specifically, but I remember that being a part of some of their overall goals in general, and that's some of the reasons why you've seen the Fertitta brothers walk away from the UFC and sell them and kind of give it away to Dana. So it's kind of interesting to see all this stuff kind of coming to work, and people who weren't involved in the sport just don't really understand how much that they play a part into it.
Yeah, and you go back I think it was 17. I'm sorry, I think it's 2017. They had actually put up for one of the land bids for the Raiders Stadium. They had a plot of land out here that there's, I think it was off of Tropicana, which is pretty main street, close to the Strip. So I think it was right off of there. And they had about 120 acres that they were trying to put in for the Raiders to bid on to build their stadium on it. And it would have been a good location. However, I think that, price-wise and where the Raiders wanted the location, it wasn't everything that they wanted. So, but space-wise, they wouldn't have a problem with parking, but maybe it was something they couldn't come to terms with money or the bid, or I don't know. And then you look 2019, I think, I might be off 1 year on each of these. It was 2019, and they're over talking with the 49ers brass about whether or not they could get involved with, I want to say they want to buy a team, and that they were looking to find a way in as far as ownership goes, maybe with the 49ers. So that had been rumored too. So it's one of those things you start wondering, what team will it be? Maybe it's the Eagles. Maybe they're going to move.
That was a rumor so many years ago. Oh my God!
Yeah.
There's a call because when Jeffrey Lurie first bought this team, that was one of the rumors that he was going to move the team back to Las Vegas. Okay. So it's funny you say that.
Yeah. I don't think Dana wants to go back to the East Coast, though. I think somehow he would get involved because he's so close with the Fertittas. But yeah,
with the baseball idea, you said they already had a site or whatever. Is there any ideas or rumors as far as what the stadium concept might be? Because I've been to the 51 stadium there. Obviously, it's outdoors. There's some overhangs where you can get some seats that are shaded, but it's completely open as far as the playing field goes. Really hot, obviously. I would think that a major league team, the plan would be to have some sort of roof involved. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would definitely think that, because the Raiders can't even really operate without their roof. It's insane. And oh my gosh, I don't have my Mac plugged in, and it says it's gonna die soon. So if I
we were getting ready to kind of get ready to let you go and wrap it up as it was. Anyways,
I'll just finish the question then. So if I don't get cut off, then you know what happened. But yeah, so they think they definitely need the roof. The grass, it would be hard to find another way to keep it fresh, because you'd have to put it in some kind of a field tray like the Raiders have. I think you can't put it out there because it'll just dry out. There's no humidity in this air, so it'd have to be covered. It'd have to be really cared for turf, and that's how I think the best way it would be as far as engineering it. If I had my way, that's how I would engineer it. So I might build a blueprint, turn it in. So
go sit in the dome and go sit out in the 120 degree heat, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like you go to Arizona game, the Diamondbacks, they've had those sprinklers out there that spritz you while you're sitting under there. I've been to a game out there. So you go out there, they have a kind of overhang, but if it's a 3:00 game, you're frying. So they,
or maybe they should do something like what something you would see some of these places where you do have like not an overhang, but maybe something retractable where you can have it where it's one of these mild days where you can open everything up or or close it completely off when it's 128 degrees in the shade.
Right? Park, ideas like stadiums like that come to mind with similar concepts. You brought up the Arizona Diamondback Stadium, and I completely forgot about. Obviously, every year they've got the pool and everything there. Yeah, what a wonderful okay, look what they've done. Very similar weather, similar climate. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a beautiful stadium out there in Arizona. Something like that, hell, I would make a trip to Vegas just to go watch a game out there at a complex like that. Sure.
No, you need to take a trip to Vegas to go watch a fight, brother.
Well, it would be everything in one trip, Steven. We'd watch a baseball game. We'd watch a fight.
Hey, let's tour the whole complex. Let's go.
There you go. Poirier McGregor coming up, boys.
Oh, man.
Come out for that.
Hey, man. Like
here, Steven. He got hurt?
Yeah. He took a shot to the pills. Just give him a few minutes. He'll be all right. I already seen it as well. As soon as I seen the guy slink down in the cage, I'm like, someone just got hit in the pills.
Oh boy.
And it's tough when it's big boys.
Yeah, that's what that. They look like Steven laying on the ground. I was like, what happened here? This is. I imagine this is what Steven looks like without a shirt on and MMA shorts. But
227. I'm not that big. Relax. I'm under the heavyweight limit, so you can't sit there and call me that right now. But Heidi, obviously, we got to get ready to go because your computer says it's about that time. First and foremost, absolute pleasure. You definitely have to bring you back on here again and talk some more sports. What I typically do at the end is kind of throw the proverbial microphone over to our guests. Anyone you would like to thank, shoot at your social media sites. Anyone you might want to bring over to your side. You might have some Raider fans, within you. Maybe want to follow up what you're doing. Let people know where to follow you, where to find your content, and tune into what you're doing out there.
Yeah, first, thanks to both of you for having me. And you can find me Instagram, Twitter at Heidi Fang. I also have a Facebook fan page, Heidi Fang. I try to keep that up to date. I just don't get on Facebook as much anymore. So yeah, it was one of those things I got to get better with. But yeah, I'm always on Twitter. That's probably the best way to find me. And a little bit with things on Instagram as well. I'm starting to pick up on Instagram. But the latest things I've been working on is actually I have an NFL draft video series that I've been working on with Adam Hill. So we went out there and did a couple things out at the stadium yesterday. And then we have an NFL draft show coming up right around the week of the draft. We're going to have a preview show. We're going to have 5 podcasts for the week, and check all those out at vegasnation.com. That's where my podcast airs every Wednesday, Takeaways Edition. And I talk Raiders. I have Raiders. I'm going to speak with some of the Raiders in a coming up episode. So yeah, you want to make sure to catch those. They're all free.
That's what we do. Making sure you spread the love with all our media members. So guys, make sure you're tuning in. I'll definitely be in touch. We'll tune in to link up to get some more content together and do some more things with the coming football season. And when we get some MMA fights lined up, etc. Get you back on here.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right. It's always a pleasure. How do you have a good one?
You too. Take care, guys.
All right, everyone. That was Heidi Fang. Absolute pleasure. Definitely, we'll be having her back on. I know Zach's going to be picking her brain to figure out when we're going to get some Major League Baseball there in the state of Nevada.
It's funny because I was actually one of my umpiring buddies. We were having a conversation a couple weeks ago about it, and I was trying to argue. I was trying to tell him, I was like, "Dude, Vegas is going to get an MLB team here."
Well, literally, you have your direct connection right there. There's your media member to everyone there in Nevada. So, listen, we'll definitely be having Heidi back. We'll definitely be having her back on. We'll be having some more fun. Baseball talk, football talk, MMA talk. We're gonna have some fun, and obviously we didn't get a chance to circle back to the basketball talk. The Sixers have been doing their thing. They're, now the reason why I was talking. Listen to this one. This knucklehead at my work was sitting there telling me that the Sixers could lose the rest of the games this season. I'm like, on what planet?
Well, he's.
Did the Monstars come down and take all the players' talents or something like that? Like,
did he get disqualified for hitting him in the nuts?
Yep. It's either that or no contest. He's done. Oh boy, the rough parts of MMA.
Jeez.
And with that being said, they're getting ready to head over to the main card portion of that. We're getting ready to wrap things up on here. And see, you got to pick this boy up.
He's not even a no contest.
Oh, they did give him the win?
I don't know. It looks like they're ready to raise his hand.
We'll see in a second. See the official announcement. Although they read a decision. They took it to a decision. Okay, cool.
So he was winning the fight anyway, and he got load. They almost fight. It's like they almost fought it. I feel bad for them. They're all laughing at him and shit. Like, this is like, good Lord.
But another fun one in the books.
I'm with you, dude. Yeah, you actually got me excited to go watch the stupid main event now.
Yes, man. Listen, man. You're not going to want to tune in for every fight, or every fighter's not going to be for you or for everyone. Listen, I guarantee you, not just watching UFC or Bellator line fights or Pro Fight League or Invicta, or even one of your local whoever it is that you're watching. There's always going to be more than a handful of fights that is just wows you. Like, listen, you thought Mershon was going to get his head stoved in, and then next thing you know, he chokes the guy out. That's what I'm talking about. That's the beauty about mixed martial arts. A guy can look like he's going to absolutely obliterate this dude. He's going to get smashed. Next thing you know, it's the most unassuming guy in the world is the guy who's the most deadliest person in the ring. With that being said, I know the wrestling guy should be getting on here in a few minutes. We'll be back again next week.
You mean we're not canceled?
we're gonna have some fun stuff lined up for you. I might do something different. Obviously we're gonna be real close to the draft. We'll be also, I believe, less than a week away from the next BKFC event. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see how we go with that. Obviously, Combat Sports Stop comes on right beforehand, so we'll probably do a breakdown of the BKFC event there. But maybe have another athlete on. We don't know. May have another journalist. You don't know. You don't know what we're gonna do. But make sure you're tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever your platform of poison. Make sure you're following it. Twitch, we got you covered there. Again, make sure you're showing love to all our sponsors. Expo Realty, Philly Drinkers, Body Check Wellness, specialized physical therapy. The counseling center, Sunrise Detox. Make sure you're supporting everyone who shows us love. We'll be back next week. I'm Steve. That's Zach. This was another